What's up, guys? Welcome back to the bianconerizonechannel. Apologies for the wait. Apologize. So we have a new one on the channel. So no Julian, no Justin, no Malik, no Davide. So today it's Adam, a new member. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I'm happy to be here. That's my first time, so
Yeah,
I'm looking
that
forward to it.
that's where we're a bit later. We need to figure out
Yeah.
the camera and stuff. But we're here, and like the game is on almost. It's Sunday, but I would say for the first time in 2 weeks, I would say there's actually a lot to talk about. Um, some
Yeah.
some decent news from decent sources and some weird news from people who shouldn't be talking at the moment, but they talk. So we're gonna go over that, all of that. But before we go over the news, I want to say, or I want to ask you, um, how are you feeling that Inter is back now? That Inter, that Juve is
Here's
back
that.
now. That Juve is back now. Because like I'm not a fan of international breaks, so I want to know what you think about it.
Yeah, I don't like them either, but perhaps the good thing about international breaks is that they make you miss football. So now when the games are back, and especially it's a big game now, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also quite optimistic about the game, to be honest. I think we're gonna win it.
Yeah, like before the international break, I was like, I'm not gonna miss this team because we just got our asses whooped by Villarreal. I was like, I had enough. Then week one, like a few days in, I'm like, yeah, they need to play again because I cannot watch international football. It's not the same. Like the intensity, everything is different. It's not fun to watch, in my opinion. But it's good. It's back now. 8 games, uh, 8 important games in 2 months with one Coppa Italia semi-final, maybe final. So all to play for in a few weeks. So that's positive. Um,
Yeah,
we will talk about the Inter game probably more a bit later in the show. We will start off with the first thing,
the
and
interview.
then yeah, we will talk first with the Super League quote
Okay.
because, and then we will move on to the Allegri quotes and then the actual news because Romeo spoke. I didn't put that on the Twitter account because it came out a bit late. Maybe I will tweet that out tomorrow. But we will talk about it on the show now. First of all, we will go into the Super League quote. Um, I will ask you first. What do you think about the Super League, just in general?
Now, more recently, they have said that it's going to be similar to the Champions League, but they're going to change it. So they're going to modify some rules to appeal more to the Premier League teams, I think. That's what I understood recently. 'Cause it seems like the first plan is not going to work anymore, which is that they're going to be 12 founding teams that can never be moved. Then you have 8 teams that are going to be invited every season. It seems like that has changed.
Yeah,
But generally speaking, I support the Super League because my concern is that the Premier League is getting too big. It seems like teams from Italy, Spain, and Germany can't compete with them anymore. Like we're seeing it now. Teams like West Ham are generating more money per year than Roma, Lazio, and Napoli. Even Milan and Inter are barely making the top 20.
yes.
So I think this is a very dangerous for football because then Premier League is going to be the only league that matters. And I think the Super League is a good counteract to that.
Um, I agree. I think like I don't care if it's called Super League or Champions League. I don't care. Like the main point is they want to make money. So they can call it whatever they want. Like the main thing is making money. It is what it is. Like we are. How do you say we are part of the problem because we support the club no matter what. We not me personally, but I would say millions of fans keep buying merchandise even if the prices are insane. They keep doing it, so we are part of the problem. So I'm not gonna say the Super League is bad because I know what the UEFA does. What they're gonna do with the new Champions League format, it's awful. So um,
Yeah.
it's all the same. They can yell and shout to each other. At the end of the day, they want the same thing, and that's making money. The only difference is UEFA is keeping a lot of money. The teams are bringing in. We as fans are bringing in. Whilst that should be, in my opinion, be divided among the teams, and especially in terms of who brings in the more money, most money, should get a bigger piece of the pie, in my opinion. Like City, Man City, I read an article that they have the highest revenue in the world at the moment. I'm like, how is that even possible? Because their fan base is less than Tottenham. I'm sorry, it is.
Mm.
So that's already fishy. That makes me think in terms of something is clearly not right, but the UEFA is like, we don't care. So there's not bad, good. It is what it is. It's one thing. It's money. But the PSG owner spoke again, and usually I don't care. But what he said today was, I don't know, was weird, was a bit shocking in my opinion, and they're trying to, how do you want to say that? Like play the emotional side of fans, but it's not working in my opinion. So he came out and he said a lot, but this quote was a bit was the main one. He said, "I hate the Super League. We talk about three clubs. They know there is no chance. People are dying in Ukraine, and have nowhere to sleep, and we are fighting over the Super League. What the hell has that to do with the Super League? Like I
Yeah,
don't get
I've
it.
noticed this is the second time.
I I read it like 3 4 times. I'm like, this is a fake quote. It was real. I'm like, it's the same guy while there was war in Ukraine was fighting the locker room of Real Madrid during
Yeah.
after the game. I'm like, I can delete the Super League and I can say, and we are fighting over a Champions League game. I can insert that quote, and it's the same. And then he will say, "Yeah, what the hell has that to do with the Ukraine war? It has nothing to do with the Ukraine war. It's like he's asking Agnelli and Perez to go fight over there. I don't know what he's asking. Like I don't get the quote. The only thing I can get out of it is he's appealing to the emotional side of fans, but football fans don't care about that. It might maybe I'm being too harsh, but like it doesn't correlate with each other. Like one has nothing to do with the other one. So me as a fan, I'm like, what? It's shocking, and it's weird there's no response from the three clubs because they're taking weird shots at the last time. Because even the UEFA president said that quote, "There's war, and we are talking about the Super League." I'm like, no, you are. Agnelli hasn't spoke about it for months. It's you who keep bringing it on for some reason. So it's you. It's not the clubs. It's you. But what do you make of that quote?
For me, I noticed that this is the second time that either the ESL president, I think is that what it's called? No, not the ESL, sorry.
Ika.
The yeah, the one that Agnelli was the president of, and
Yeah,
then
it's
now the
Ika.
PSG president.
It's Ika.
Yeah, you can. Okay, yeah. So I noticed this is the second time that an important figure in football tries to use the war in Ukraine to push this argument. I think it's kind of weird. Um, I mean, it has no connection to football at all, but it's an easy way to get the fans on their side, and the fans are already on their side for the most part. But from a logical standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
No, it doesn't. It's strange, and I don't even. I don't think I can call it a low blow, like blow
Mm.
below the waist, because it's not even a blow. It's weird. It's disrespectful. It's a bit shocking because I don't know what, like, bringing up the war to benefit your point. Basically, that's what he's doing. He's saying, "Oh, look, guys, people are dying, and you are talking about making more money." I'm like, okay, I don't get it. I actually don't get it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I bring it up because it's a weird one. They keep talking. The three clubs are not talking at all. They're saying nothing. But it is what it is. Like John is saying, because
Do you think it's gonna
this.
happen though?
Excuse me.
Do you think it's gonna happen, the Super League?
At some point, ever, like, I'm not saying next year, but at some point it's gonna happen because teams like, even teams like Bayern and all those teams, they will come to the realization that, okay, it's getting out of hand now. We created the problem, but we need to do something. Um, but yeah, like at the Conference League that they just added, I'm like,
Mm.
I tried to watch a few games and I haven't finished one of them. I'm not gonna lie. It's no
Yeah.
disrespect, but like, unless you're a fan of that team, nobody's gonna watch it. Not even a lot of people watch Europa League, you know. So I get that they want to do that, but their solution is adding more games. I don't think that's a solution
Yeah.
to my, like, I'm gonna watch my team play, but I'm not gonna watch Manu play. I don't know who, like a club I never heard about. Like I'm not gonna do that. Manu fans are gonna do that, but as a neutral fan, I'm gonna do something else on my Wednesday evening. For me, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
watch that game. If they think that's what's gonna happen, I think they're wrong. Also for the younger generation, like we are young, we are younger.
Mm.
Like I'm not super young, but I'm still young. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not. If it's not my club, I'm not gonna do that. If it's Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, I will stay at home. I will watch that game, but I'm not gonna watch Real Madrid take on I don't know who. I'm not gonna do it. But if they think that's a solution, let's see. um. So enough of Super League talk. We will move on to Allegri's quote. Quote. I
Yeah.
picked one out of it. It's the main one, basically. I think we knew that, but it was not really confirmed, and people are still not believing it that it actually happened. But like, he's not gonna lie.
Mm.
He's not gonna lie about that.
Yeah.
So he said, "I already signed with Real Madrid, but when Juve called, I had no more doubts. I called Perez to tell him I wanted to go back to Juve." Now, I will ask you two questions. Do you think? I'll ask you three questions. Do you think Allegri made the right decision to say no to Real Madrid? I'm going back to Juve.
Okay. I'm very um like the idea of Allegri as Real Madrid manager, I find to be very fascinating because I remember 2007, 2008, and the season before that as well. Fabio Capello was the Real Madrid manager, and he won the league 2 years in a row, and they still sacked him because of the boring football that he played.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering what Allegri, how he would survive as manager there because he plays very defensive football for the most part, and it surprised me as well that Perez wanted him not once but twice. I mean, he just doesn't. For me, he doesn't seem like a Real Madrid manager,
No, I
But
agree. I agree. Also, Ancelotti is on the verge of getting sacked because of the
yeah,
football they play, and they're gonna win the league probably. And he made it. He beat PSG, but
mm,
he's not certain of keeping his job, and he's playing boring football at times, like really boring
yeah,
football. So, like you can see, if you pull Benzema out of that team, they look a shell of themselves. So
yeah.
I thought, like, I keep finding it a weird rumor at the time, but it's confirmed now. He said it.
And I think he also confirmed it in his first press conference back in July, I think,
Yeah,
in the summer. He mentioned it.
but he said
Yeah.
like in terms of yeah, there was interest, but like now he said I signed, and I said no, I changed my
Mm.
mind. Okay, my next question is: so I asked, do you think Allegri made the right decision? Did the club, us, Juve, make the right decision to bring him back here?
I was honestly from the first day I was against it because I noticed even in his last season, 2018, 2019, I noticed that we started the season well. We played actually some pretty good football in the first 3 months. I even remember particularly the game against Valencia.
Yeah,
We created three good chances in the first 10 minutes. Then Ronaldo got sent off for a very weird red card, and even then we continued playing good football and won the game 2-0 in a very difficult stadium. Like I can't imagine Allegri doing that now. So to me, I was very happy with the start to his last season, but then in the second half it just fell apart. Obviously, the one exception was the game against Atletico. But I was happy that he left. And coming back, I was thinking, okay, 2 years have passed. Has he changed as a manager? Have his ideas changed at all, or is he still holding on to the same beliefs? It's obvious that he's held on to the same beliefs, and I don't think he's ever going to become a more offensive-minded manager. And honestly, the football that we play is awful. I mean, I
yeah,
don't think there's any big club in Europe that plays as bad as we do. Honestly,
I agree. With you say I don't think. I'm certain no other big club. Yeah, maybe if you want to say Manu, they play also some horrendous football, like really bad. But at times they look kind of flashy, but it's like
yeah.
sporadic. But so you said no, like you were against it. So would you have kept Pirlo for another season, or did you have someone else in mind?
Honestly, I was thinking of Eric Ten Hag of Ajax. I thought that would be a good one. Um, and I think you're far more knowledgeable about Dutch football than I am, so I don't know if he's as good as I think he is, but
He is okay. His ideal, it's ideal. His idea of football is very 22, I would say. Like it's attacking, it's fullback, like everything. It's very
mm,
attacking. You can ask the Lake; he speaks about it uh, basically in every interview he does. But the way Ajax works, and the way we work, and now he's linked to Manu. I think that's I can be completely wrong, but I think going to Manu is a big mistake because Manu is they don't work like Ajax. Like Ajax, he sat
mm,
in the boardroom and they went over players together. And the club said we have these players. They, like he can say no. Like I cannot work with him. Or yes, I can work with him and they get him. At Juve, that's not how it works. It will never work like
Mm.
that. Also at Ajax, it's you want to say like it's young. It's you watch Ajax. Like look at
Yeah.
Anthony for example, because we on the channel we
Mm.
discussed Anthony, me and Julian, and like we love him. But Allegri, I cannot see Allegri turning up to training and say watching Anthony do his thing, the way he plays, and we'll be like, I love it. I cannot see it.
Mm.
So and also I don't see the club bringing in those type of players. Like there's no proof of the club doing it over the years, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would have worked with our board because at Ajax it's different. It's very different. Now Allegri apparently has some more power, if you want to call it power. But previously he got the players and the club said
Mm.
made it work, make it work, and he did that. He did that better than anyone in my opinion in the last years. Uh, but with Ten Hag, I don't think it's gonna work the way just based on how the
Mm.
club is set up. Our club.
For me, what's even worse than bringing Allegri back is giving him a 4-year contract worth 9 million per season. Because then, if it goes badly in the first season, you just cannot sack him. So he's basically stuck for 4 years. For me, that's a poor decision.
It's yeah. We talked about the channel, but what 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 that tells me is the club
Really
backs
trust him.
him. Yeah, they do trust him. They back him. I'm with the club. I say Agnelli. I think he had enough, and he said like it's not like
Mm.
he sacked him. He didn't want to sack him that season. Like he was against it. He struggled with it big time. He did. He listened to Paratici, Nedved. He did what he had. He saw Sarri, and he said, "Nope, not having this guy for one more year at the
Mm.
club." Then he said, "I'm gonna put Pirlo in this position now." It was a big risk, and we saw that. And I think now he's saying, "I had enough. We're gonna go back to I don't want to say stability, basically." And that's the guy. I need him. And to be honest, besides the 4 games, the first 4 games, there is stability at the club. It's horrendous
Mm.
to watch, but there is stability, if you want to call it stability. It's still not good enough, but again, a lot is due to the lack of quality in this team. I keep saying it, like the squad is built. I don't know. It's like you and me built that squad with no knowledge of football at all. I don't know.
Mm.
And we will get
I
into.
mean, I keep hearing the. Mm.
No,
I mean,
you go.
I keep hearing the argument. Okay. I keep hearing the argument that we only play this terrible brand of football because we don't have the players to play good football. But then I look at teams like Fiorentina, and they play much better football than we do. Um, Even Verona at times they do as well.
Yeah, they do.
So
Sassuolo, they
yeah,
do. Empoli even this season did. But
correct. Yeah.
I think you know what. Okay, I'm going off the premises like he wants to play 4-3-3. I think that's what he wants to do with the squad he has basically.
Mm.
But you cannot play 4-3-3 with the players we have. Like you just can't unless you want to play Quadrado on the right, but he's not the same again. You cannot play Dybala over there.
Yeah.
Brandliski is he's ineffective. Like so the squad Arthur in a 4-3-3. Zakaria is back now, and apparently he's gonna start.
Mm.
So you know what that means. Arthur is on the bench again.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't
Mm.
rate him at all, and that's a problem. Like if you don't, as a coach, you don't rate a player, and he cannot play that position. Arthur, he just can't.
Yeah.
He will never be able to play that position the way Allegri wants. So like if these pieces get filled in, I think we will play automatically better. Will it be amazing? I don't know. Like you can play 4-3-3, but you still like there's a Liverpool 4-3-3. There's an Allegri
Mm.
4-3-3. What he will ask
Yeah.
Chiesa to track back, which he asked him to do this season already at the start,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
it was awful to watch. I felt sad for Chiesa. So you're right. Like it's not just quality, like you need quality, but the idea of football should be there, like always. But we talked about it a lot
But
on the channel.
there's also a point is I don't think it's a coincidence that for the past 5 years, I'd say ever since 2015, pretty much every midfielder we have signed, with the exception of Pjanic, has not been that good. And I'm wondering if it could be the team itself or the system itself, because Bentancur for me was an average player at best. But now at Tottenham, I was checking on Twitter 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about him like Zidane. They were
Yeah.
saying the way he controls the ball and the way he dribbles. I was like, what, Bentancur? I couldn't believe it.
Like you can ask Julian. I watch a few games. I've watched stinkers of him and good games. Like I'm not gonna deny that. But I've also watched good games of him at Juve. So 6, 7 games is not a sample size for me. I need seasons. Like I've seen good games from Bentancur. Remember that season with Sari when he picked up an injury against
Yeah.
Lazio? He was our best player at the moment, in my opinion. Like he was great,
Mm.
and he picked up that injury, and ever since, like again, system like he played under 3 coaches, and it's basically the same result. So
Yeah.
and I know what you're trying to say. I do. But you made a good point. Besides Pjanic, now Locatelli, I think he's a good midfielder.
Mm.
But you're right. You're right. Like Mikani, a lot of people rate Mikani. I think he's a good squad player. But if you want to be that club again, he is a squad player. Now he's a starter, but he should be a squad player in my opinion. But
Mm.
that's what it is. I'll read out some chat before we go into the news. I saw somebody. Um, Let me see. Somebody asked, "Are you from the U.S. of Canada?" He's from Canada, so the channel is being taken over by Canadians. Julian will be over the moon. Let me see. Okay. Someone's saying Allegri liked Douglas back then, so it's likely don't rule out completely. I keep saying that Douglas Costa signing was just Marotta. Like he made that signing, in my opinion. Yeah, he liked him, but like I keep bringing it up. Remember that game where Keane controlled that ball with his
Mm.
back heel and we were like 3-0 up?
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
And after the game, he was calling him out. I'm like, okay, chill, it's 3-0. Like, it's okay. And
Mm.
he was calling him out. I'm like, he was saying, oh, he's young, you need to show respect. I'm like, he's gonna hate Anthony. He's gonna hate him.
Yeah.
He's actually gonna hate him. And you're gonna ruin that kid. So that's what I mean with that. Um, Hassa saying, Bitancur is overrated at Spurs. My brother is a Spurs fan. He gets lucky assists and isn't ever the best on the pitch for Spurs. Kulusevski's doing very well, however. Yeah, he's doing, like, I don't believe Bitancur will be that player. Like, I think soon Tottenham fans will come to realization, like, okay, he's okay, but he ain't it.
Yeah.
I can just not, I cannot picture that he can be that guy. I've seen him. We have seen him. Like he has so many mistakes in him. It's unbelievable, and he's scared to receive a ball. For a midfielder, it's unbelievable.
But that's the weirdest thing though, because Tottenham fans are praising him mainly for finally having a midfielder who can take the ball, receive it well, and play it forward. And for me, I don't know, that was weird.
Yeah, because he's not that type of player. I'm like, you guys must have been starving before you joined. Like, it must have been really bad if you think Betancourt is that guy. But hey,
Yeah.
they paid us. Good for them, I would say. Good for us. Um. Okay, so I'll go with the first thing Romeo said, and it kind of falls into this conversation a bit midfield. And he spoke about Locatelli, so I'm gonna read it out. He
Mm.
said, Locatelli is moving towards staying in that Mezzala role, and that will require looking for someone who has the personality required for the regista role. Arthur proves not to be that person. He doesn't have the profile to be the one holding the keys to the Juve's midfield. So he's basically saying what we all knew. Allegri wants Arthur
Mm.
out. I think more open in January. The club
Yeah.
could have not been, like, they were trying to ship him out
Yeah.
actively until
Mm.
the last day almost. His agent came out basically admitting that, like, yeah. So do you, like, we discussed that? It's like, okay, Regista role. He wants that Regista. The only name out there, in my opinion, is Jorginho. Now, would you take? So Julian asked me that question. I will ask you that question. Would you take Jorginho on a 3-4 year deal at, let's say, 6 million euros, but 4 years Jorginho, or will you just say, "Nah, Locatelli, you're gonna play that role, and we're gonna bring in another 8 Mezzala"? What will you do?
Um, I'm kind of paranoid about signing players over the age of 28 on high wages. So whether it's Pogba or Jorginho, I'm not a big fan of it. I would prefer to sign a midfielder who's younger. I mean, he doesn't have to be as good as Pogba or Jorginho now, but somebody who has clear potential. I'm not thinking. I don't have a name right now. I can't think of one.
Yeah.
But when you look in Serie A, for example, I'm very convinced by. For example, I think Milan have two very good midfielders. They're both young, Tonali and Benacer. They're both signed for cheap prices. I mean, I wonder where our scouting department is. Like, why can't we find someone like that?
Yeah, yeah. But for now, it's like it's Jorginho, Jorginho, and there's no other name out there for that Regista role. There isn't. There are rumors about different like other profile midfielders, but for the Regista role, it's just Jorginho out there, and it's kind of scary that you only have one name basically. I don't know if you have one
But
name, but
honestly, for me, if it's either Jorginho or nobody else, then I would prefer to just play Miretti there. I've seen him play for the younger team, and he's very good. Okay, he's a very good passer, a brilliant passer. So
yes, but I think we all know that's not gonna happen. It's not
yeah,
gonna happen. So it's kind of scary that it's only Jorginho's name coming out. Yeah, you hear other names coming out, but like that, those are like eights or something or six, like Kadira type
yeah,
or another Zakaria, but like there's no real riches, and Allegri wants that. Apparently, that's what he wants. So
mm,
I don't know, but that's news. Ideal
yeah.
world, we get a regista for Allegri because again, he's gonna be the coach for 4 years. 4 years, you need to give
3 years
him,
more. Yeah,
yeah, you need to give him what he needs. Otherwise, it's never gonna work. It isn't. You gave him the
the
contract. Now
thing,
you need to
but
back him.
yeah, the thing for me about the rumors is that they don't seem to be consistent. Like we aren't linked with players of a certain type, for example. So it just seems to be all over
Yeah, yeah. Oh
the
yeah, for
place, you know.
sure. Yeah, it's early. That's why it's normal. Um,
Yeah.
and now you brought up Pogba, uh,
Mm.
and he spoke about Pogba, and he said a lot. I will read it out. Uh, I don't know. I think a lot of people in the chat will be disappointed. Some will be happy. I think you. But he said, so he was asked about Pogba. He said it's a totally open situation. Everything indicates that he will leave Manu at the end of the season. However, to come to Juve, Pogba would have to be willing to take a drastic pay cut, something like 50%. And as much
Wow.
as Pogba has shown at Juve, created a great relationship with Allegri, and comes from a very difficult period from United, uh, it remains a big doubt if he would be willing to do that. He said Pogba is a world champion and his name has grown to actually become a brand over the world, recognized by everyone. He said, so honestly, I think it's very difficult for him to give up that kind of money, having also several other options on the table. And that's what I always said. Like, do I believe he wants to come back? 100% sure. Because he has been in a very toxic situation in England. It's always something. It's his hair. Like they're losing 4
Mm.
0 to Liverpool. He picks up a red card when coming off the bench. That's the main talking point. Instead of Manu getting, battered by Liverpool. He's the
Yeah.
main. He dyes his hair. That's front page news. So it's been very toxic. In Italy, it's not like that. It isn't because he's loved by the fans, by the club. It's completely different. Like the club will protect him. Allegri will protect him. Like Allegri protects Sandro when he gives the ball away in the Supercoppa in the last second. He protects him. He said that was his best game ever. I'm like, okay, so that's not gonna happen at Manu. They will throw you under the bus. They will do that. So I do
Mm.
believe he wants to come back just because it's. I didn't want to say that it's familiar with us. It's you have a family feeling. It's different, but 50% pay cut. I don't see that. I actually don't see why would he do that? It's his last big deal probably. Why would he go from 50 mil offers to 7, 8 mil? That's a lot of money for 4 years or something. That's a lot of money. So I
Yeah.
think he's not joining. I think it's just an
Mm.
easy link to make. I think he's going PSG or something. Uh,
Yeah, same.
what do you think? I know you just said you don't like players above 28, but
Yeah.
let's say you get him on a free and he earns 7. Let's say the club needs to pay around 10 because of the rule. What
Yeah,
do you
there are
think?
always these huge signing on bonuses, and of course you have to remember whose agent is. So we're going to spend a lot more than that, though. You know, so it's not just going to be the 7 or 8 million
Yeah,
per
but
season.
maybe it's Raiola. They figure something out with a different deal.
Yeah.
That's how
Oh
they
yeah. Okay.
that's how they
Yeah.
work. Usually, that's like I remember when we got Pogba. We need to sign like some dusty player from Ajax who hasn't even is without a club at the moment. That boy guy.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal. Like
Oh, okay.
that's how it works. Like he gives you one thing,
Mm.
but you need to also do this, this, and this. That's how. And I
Yeah.
think we are the only club. I don't want to say that. Um, giving. I think Juve is the only club that gives him what he wants, what Raiola wants, and that's why we
Mm.
keep getting these type of players. But at the end of the day, you know what's gonna happen. So I don't
Yeah.
believe he's joining.
And and the second thing as well is that for him to reduce his wages by 50%, like I mean, Pogba was not did not grow up as a Juve fan. You know,
No, yeah,
for example, if it's someone like Chiesa or Locatelli, even then I would say 50% is way too much. But I might say maybe. For Pogba though, no, it's really not going to happen.
no, I agree. I agree. John is saying 50 mil is the same as 8 in Italy, though they're reported pre-taxes in the UK. Yeah, but like his new deal, I was like, he has offers of 30 to 40 mil net euros on the table,
Mm.
net. So that's what the club needs to offer, basically, close, and that's a lot of money. Like I'm not talking about the gross wages in the UK. I'm talking about his new offers on the table. It's close to 40 mil net. So yeah. Um, JJ saying, speaking of not signing over 28-year-old players, you do need experience in each third. We are, yeah, like I agree, but I'm going to the next name, and that's my main guy. I want him, and that's Savage. I want him. So
Mm.
Romeo spoke, and he said it's very difficult to negotiate with Lazio. Juve spent 3 windows insisting, and Lazio were strong in their demand of 100 million euros. When Savic accepted the renewal, he knew it was basically locked in until the end of his contract, and that's 24.
Mm.
At the time when he signed that contract, I was like, "What are you doing?
Same, same.
You're stuck. You're stuck. You're absolutely stuck because nobody's like 100 million euros. That's already insane. I think nobody's gonna pay 80 mil, 70 mil. Nobody's gonna pay 70 mil.
Yeah.
So it's Lazio saying we will take 60, 65 max because that's the max you will get for him, in my opinion.
Mm.
That somebody will
He's
offer him.
27 or 28, Savage?
He's 28, yeah. 27 or
28.
28.
Mm.
But
Mm. Okay.
nobody's paying 100 mil. I think the max someone will offer is 65. And at that price,
Mm.
Lazio's not selling, in my opinion. So he signed he signed a prison sentence,
Yeah.
basically. Because nobody's paying that. We are not paying that. And Lotito and Agnelli, he's not gonna sell to us. But
Mm.
he's my, how do I say that? Dream signing, like my preferred option. But again, forget about the register role. Just in general, he's my preferred
Yeah.
option. Uh, what do you make of that? That we are actually still
For me,
looking at him.
mm. For me, the thing about Savage, I remember back in 2018, we were looking at him as finally being able to sign somebody to replace Pogba. Because I think out of all the current midfielders, the most similar to Pogba is probably Savage. And back then he was 25 or 24, so that seemed like a perfect signing.
Yeah.
And I remember in 2018, in the beginning of the summer, we were linked with him, but
Yeah.
then we ended up signing Ronaldo instead. I still think that if we didn't sign Ronaldo or that opportunity did not present itself, we would have signed Savage. But things they turned out very differently. But I still hope, if I could go back in time, I would still say probably sign Savage instead of Ronaldo back then. But now at 28 years of age, and especially considering our poor like at Juve, most players who join us get injured straight away.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that as well. So
Yeah, Julian, and he drives me nuts in the chat, and he keeps sending those injury reports, and he's right. But like he's jinxing every player and getting injured. Like Zakaria was clean before he joined us, clean. He missed more games for us than for Gladbach, almost. It's very
Wow.
close. It's like
Yeah.
I think yeah, I have the picture. Wait, Julian texted me. I think it
Hmm.
was yesterday. Uh, Let me see. Zakaria's injury report. Okay, so he missed. Oh no, I cannot see it. I cannot see it. But he missed 6 games for us already. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's actually
Okay, but
scary.
I mean, my memory might be fooling me here, but I do remember when he first got injured, you were saying that
Yeah.
he should only be out for 20 days. I think he was out for much longer than that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's standard. It's like Dybala saying I have nothing, and then he's out for 1 month and a half always. Like it's like
Yeah.
that's not nothing, but hey. Um. Okay, we will go into in the back line now in the defense
I mean,
because he said some interesting
just a
things.
yeah, just a final point about the injury issue. Do you think it has to do more with our medical team or our training methods?
Um.
I think it's the training.
I want to say yes, but I think both because these things were happening with Sari, with Pirlo, and they all had
Mm.
different training staffs, different methods, and they keep happening. So I think it's
Mm.
okay. Some players like Chiellini, Dybala, it is what it is. They're injury prone. Like
Mm.
you can absolutely do nothing in training and just watch Netflix. I think they will still get injured. Like it's what it is. But I agree. Like Evra, like I think he said it like ever since he left like 10 times that the training methods are insane. Like even before, like Antonio Alves said that before the Champions League final, he said we were doing high intensity things. You do it in preseason. He's like it
Mm.
was not good. Like normally you just relax before a final, just shooting on goal, just walking like tactical, but nothing extreme. And he said even back then, the last game of the season, the week before in training, it was like full hard, and that makes no sense if you're being honest. But
I mean, I still think about the way we just collapsed in the second half of that
yeah,
final in Cardiff. I've never seen anything like it, honestly. We could barely stand in the second half.
yeah, it came close to that. I keep saying it came close to that Fiorentina game. We were 2-0 up and we lost 4-2 under Conte. We
In
had
2013,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, we had absolutely nothing. We came out in the second half. I was like, okay, what happened with these guys? Same for the Real Madrid game. I was like, what happened? I know we had that they were the better team. They had a better bench, but I'm like, you collapsed completely. You were in the game without any problems. You were in that game,
Yeah.
but I don't know what happened. But something happened in that locker room. You're never gonna know. Um, we'll move on to the back line. The first thing he said, the defense will also require a fertile thought. He said, I believe Chiellini will retire at the end of the season. Without Italy going to the World Cup, I honestly don't see what his motivation will be to continue. And I've said it, I think in October or November is the first time I said it on the channel. I think if Italy don't make the World Cup,
Mm.
he calls it a day. I'm not going to say he should call it a day, but he should not limit us of getting a new defender in who's actually fit for more than 40%
Yeah.
of the game. And people say, "Oh, that's disrespectful." Like
Mm.
I've said it many times on the channel, I don't buy jerseys, let alone with names on. I don't. I have
Yeah.
two. Okay, I have Del Piero, I have Marquise, I have Chiellini. So he's in my top 5 ever, But at the end of the day, the club is more important. I need fit players. I don't want to see Rugani play 9 games in a row, including 3 Champions League games away to Milan and stuff like that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So I need fit
Mm.
defenders. So without saying retire, I'm saying we need to move on. But what's your
Yeah,
thought on
same.
it? Saying okay,
I mean, obviously, he's an absolute legend, and he should be given a great farewell.
yeah,
But I think that the decision should not be up to him. I think he needs to be asked to leave at the end of the season.
that, that
If I were in that position of power, I would do that. Yeah.
that's a good point. People will say I said that. Some said, "Oh, that's disrespectful. You should make that decision." I'm like, no, he should not. Not in this situation. If he was still fit, I was like, yeah, but he's not fit. He can play one game every month almost. Like that's not okay. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's not okay. We've seen it. So yeah, um,
And for me, the reason is the same one as yours, which is that I know if we keep Chiellini, then that'll prevent us from signing one more center
Oh
back.
yeah, for
So
sure, 100% sure.
mm,
We're not gonna sign anyone. Um, then he was asked about two names. He was asked about Rudiger. I will start with that one first. That was a bit
mm,
shocking what he said at the end because I'll read it out first. He said
yeah, okay.
he's a name to watch out for. Out of respect for Chelsea, who are prevented from making moves at the moment, he is acting very calmly, but he has had initial talks with Juve, Real Madrid, PSG, United, and even Bayern, who at the moment
Yeah.
withdrew
Mm,
from the talks. They don't want him anymore. His priority still is basically he wants to stay at
Chelsea.
Chelsea if that's possible. So at the moment
Mm,
he's basically laying low. He's keeping all options open, but he wants to hear first from Chelsea. Um, but he also said, but it must be pointed out that he seems to demand a very high salary at the moment, and that's the thing
yeah.
that I was like, wow. He said at the moment Juve are monitoring 7 to 8 defenders, having also in mind criteria such as salary, uh, age, and commission fees and stuff like that. I was
Mm,
like, why I was shocked? Because I think yesterday I was talking with Julian on the podcast and I was like, oh, it's Rudiger or Boss. We only hear one name. That's it.
yeah.
Now he says 7 to 8. I'm like, hold on, 8? I, which 8 players? And that actually freaked me out. I'm like, which 8 players?
Mm,
Who on earth are they monitoring? Bremer. We will go into Bremer. That's probably one. Who are the
mm,
other 5 players? I have no idea because I joke with Julian like, and I keep saying I don't think they know who Saliba is. These type
yeah.
of players. So who are the other 5 players? I
Yeah.
will ask you first. What do you
I
think
would.
about Rudiger?
Okay. When it comes to the names, I'm pretty sure that Botman of Lille is on the list. I'm very confident about that.
Yeah, he
But
should be.
uh, yeah, but saying Rudiger, I actually would. But knowing that Barca are in for him, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and PSG are all after him, I don't see him joining us, and I don't see us offering more money than them. So for me, I'm very pessimistic about that.
You know why I'm pessimistic? And Roma, like I had no idea how he made that move to Chelsea back in the day. I was like,
Mm.
how? Like he's a very clumsy defender. He makes so many.
By
He
the way, I
makes.
still remember. But I still remember back then when Conte was still the manager at Chelsea, they were trying to sign Manolas, but they
Yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, they,
They
they
signed
were.
Rudiger instead.
But Rudiger at Roma was error prone, unbelievable. Like he reminded me of a very early Bonucci, like errors on errors.
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
remember.
how he made? He went to Chelsea, it wasn't good. Like it was a witch hunt for him almost. Tuchel came
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
switched it to a back three. He looks like one of the best defenders ever. We don't play in a
Yeah,
back three, and
he's
that's a
very good.
scary thing. We don't play in a back three, and I don't want us to play in a back three, but we don't play in a back three. And so I'm like, that's a lot of money you're gonna need to spend for someone who struggled in a back four until
Yeah,
he switched to a back three. So that's my issue with it.
and there are some defenders like that as well. I think De Vrij is very similar. He looks very good in the back three, but if you put him in the back four, he looks a bit vulnerable.
It's like Bastoni, yeah. Like in a back
Yeah,
three,
correct.
Bastoni amazing. In a back four, it's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
it's scary to watch. Like at times you feel sorry because he looks completely out of place. I'm like, that's not okay. Like, okay, it's a big difference. I know what it is to play in a back three. Like I know the difference, what you need to do,
yeah.
but the difference is so telling that I'm like, at times you need to
Mm.
switch it up, and what then? So I don't know about
And
Rudiger. I don't know.
and perhaps to boost your point as well, whenever he plays for Germany, who play a back four, he doesn't look as good.
No, to be fair, I watched the game against the Netherlands. He looked amazing. So did the leg in the
Really?
back three most of the time,
Back three. Okay.
Which Allegri thinks he cannot do. I don't know why, but hey, apparently he needs to
Mm.
learn in the back three, but he can play in the back three, the leg.
Mm.
But yeah, with Rudiger, I don't know. Like in the other 5, 6 names, like I thought about it before we went live, like for a half hour, because I was watching the women's game. I was thinking about what, what are the other names? 5. I'm like, okay, Bremer, Botman, I'm like, who? I'm actually shocked because he said seven
I'm
to eight.
personally very impressed by Bremer. I think if we can, we should go after him.
I will read.
Bremer.
I will read what he said about Bremer. He said
Mm.
he was asked about Bremer. He said it's very complicated. He renewed with Torino precisely to allow the club to gain as much value as possible
Yeah.
from a sale. I know he's been Inter's top priority for months. There's talk that Juve could take advantage of Torino wanting to redeem Mandragora, which should happen, but I don't know if the two things are related. That's what he said. So
Mm.
I don't think those two things are related. There were talks about we got Gatti and we will switch him back to flip him to Torino for
The
Bremer.
thing about Gatti though is that he's 23 and still playing in Serie B.
Yeah,
I find that to be a big issue.
that's like people are hanging their hats on the Gatti thing. I'm like, I don't see it. I actually don't see it. And Hassa's
Mm.
putting names in the chat.
Mm.
He's saying Akanji, which I don't think is a good.
Yeah.
I don't like him. He makes.
Mm.
He's also error prone. I'm not a fan of him. He said Bremer, Pau Torres, which or Julian likes him a lot. Botman, Milenkovic, he cannot be the starter. I'm sorry. Like he cannot be the guy playing alongside Delay. He's good, but he's not that guy. He's not that guy. I want someone young to come in. I'm not gonna lie. Someone young who already has some experience. I keep saying Saliba. If you want to keep the leg at the team, you need to partner him with the next guy, and build that partnership up.
Yeah.
Don't bring in stopgaps, like 2 years, and then next one, 3 years. Like build that up. At the beginning, Chiellini. I remember the first games of Chiellini and Bonucci together. It was painful to watch at times. It was mistake on mistake on mistake on mistake.
Yeah.
It was. Then they start picking it up, but I think they, how do you want to say it, became unbelievably good when Barzali came in, and that changed
I still
everything.
remember though that Bonucci only improved after we moved to a back three. Even
Yeah.
in the Euros final in 2012 when we played a back four, he looked terrible.
He did 100%. He did. And people keep saying to me, "Oh, you're." Someone said to me, when Chiellini, so I think it was like a month back. I said, at 80, at 90, at 20 years old, I said, Chiellini was not even close to what the Ligt is now. It wasn't, and people were saying, "Oh, he was amazing already at that age. He was good at that age, but Chiellini,
No,
but he was not like the Ligt. He wasn't." And I'm not saying the Ligt will be a better defender at the end of his career. He can easily be because he's unbelievably talented for his age already. But usually
I think,
defenders are not that good at that age. They they come to, I don't want to say that, flourish a bit later, 24, 25. That's when you see, oh my god. But he was amazing already when he was 18, 19. That's not normal unless you are one of those, old timers back in the day.
Yeah. The thing about De Ligt though, which is why I've always believed that he's only going to be here for 2 or 3 years, is that we offered him 8 million plus 4 million bonuses, right? That's the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think we can go much higher than that. So obviously he's going to leave in 2 or 3 years. That was how I saw it back then, and I'm even more convinced of that now. I think he's leaving this summer or next.
That's fair. I don't think he's gonna leave this summer. If he leaves next summer, okay. You need to get his deal right now.
Perhaps the one piece of good news is that I don't see a club offering him more than 12 million. So he might say, well, you know what, my best offer is the one at and wages, correct? Yeah.
I think
So.
I think a club will offer that, but the club will not offer 100 million. Like the clause is 120. That's nobody's gonna offer that for a defender. Like no matter what. Like no club is coming to the fans and say we spend the entire summer budget for a defender. Like, you cannot sell it to a fan base. I'm sorry. Yeah. You can sell it maybe to Italian fans. They will take it. We took it.
Okay.
No, but
okay. I know that you're a very big fan of his. But let's say we sell him this summer for 90 million, which is just 5 million more than what we signed him for. So we make our money back. Would you say it was a successful signing?
Yeah. No, because the sale price, like the price we sell him for, is not good enough. Like we had him for 3 years and we made 5 million profit. I don't know. No, I would say no then. Then no,
Mm.
because we haven't got everything out of it. We did it.
Yeah.
So no, I would
Correct.
say no. Um, Let me see. Ooh, John Jenna saying both Torres is worse than Gatti. Even I doubt that.
Mm.
Uh,
Pazor is very good on the ball, but defensively he's not very strong.
yeah, that's what I'll tell. I tell Julian always, but
Mm.
he's a big fan of him. Um, Someone said, Justin said, Delic will be easier to replace than Chiellini, if I remember correctly. Yeah, someone told me that. I'm like, at this point of the career, like, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Um, Let me see. Oops. Yap is putting in names, but I cannot see it. Okay. He's saying Rudiger, Akanji, Bremer, Botman, Milenkovic, Torres, Kufur. Yeah, from the Leipzig guy. I, I doubt that. I actually doubt that. Is that the list? I don't know if that's like Akanji. These players shouldn't be in the list. I'm sorry. Like they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna spend 30 mil on Akanji, you can spend 30 mil on Saliba. I'm sorry. Like he's better.
Mm.
He's much better. So I don't get it. I actually don't get it. But oh my god, something in my eye. As I was saying, how much money do you think we will spend in the summer? It depends. I think on who we're gonna sell, and if we get Champions League football. Um,
I think that's pretty much guaranteed at this point. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah.
yeah, you jinxed it. I'm sorry because me and Julian made a prediction podcast. It's out for people who haven't watched it. We made a top four, so we went over all games from the six teams. So
Mm.
top four now, plus Atalanta and Roma. And he came up with I think Inter winning the title, then Milan, Napoli, or something like that. Very close, but he came up with us
Oh,
ending up with having only 4 points more than Atalanta, and 10 points off first place. I came up with only being 5 points off first place and having 10 or 8 more points than Atalanta.
yeah.
So I don't want to jinx it, but I was going over the games. I'm like, you need to win that. Okay, he started off saying we will lose on Sunday. I said we're gonna win on Sunday. So that was already a big difference. But like I was watching at the games, I'm like, Milan, Inter, they have the easiest running. They do. Then it's Napoli have
Well, I think for Milan, their last 5 games are very difficult though. Their last 5. Like the
yeah.
next 2 are easy, but the 5 after that are difficult.
Napoli have three. They have Roma, they have Atalanta, Fiorentina, Roma. The first three
Mm.
games now, and then they
Yeah.
have nothing basically. We have Inter
Mm.
now, and then until the last 2 games we have
Lazio.
Lazio and Fiorentina. Atalanta have a make. Inter have no one. Roma
Mm.
is Roma, and Atalanta have Napoli, Milan, and that's it. I think
Yeah.
they have Napoli, Milan, and that's it.
But I think the 2 games where it's acceptable to drop points are Fiorentina away and Inter at home, maybe. But like a draw.
You know,
But apart from that, we should win all of them.
Sunday is big. Okay, at 3 o'clock, it's Atalanta Napoli. You know,
Mm.
let's say they lose Atalanta. If you win in the evening, you know, it's now it's well, how many points is it now? I keep forgetting because they have a game in hand. I keep forgetting it.
But Napoli are without 2 of their best players. What's his
Napoli.
name? Fabian and Osimhen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big issue. I think they have a good chance. Atalanta.
Mm.
Um, okay, we have 8 points more than. Okay, they have a game in hand. So let's say they win their game in hand, it's 5. But let's say they don't win and we win, it can be 7, 8 again, clear. And then at that point, you should be
Yeah.
able to say like, okay, you cannot give it away now. Also, they need to play Leipzig next week. Is it next week? No, in 2 weeks' time, I think it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. No, it's next week.
Is it next week? Is Champions League back next week?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It's back. Okay, so they have Leipzig also twice. So maybe that
Yeah.
will take something out of that. People are saying we're winning the title. If you want to be that optimistic, go ahead, be my guest. But I'm not gonna do that. Justin, like I'm gone next week, so I'm not on the channel until next Saturday. Uh, Justin will push that Scudetto propaganda. So good luck for everybody watching. He's watching now, so.
Mhm.
And then some quick news. He also said Atalanta, Torino are not gonna buy Marco Piacca, so he's coming back, Piazza, which
Yeah,
well we knew.
that guy has been a major failure. When we signed him in 2016 after the Euros, they had high hopes for him.
Yeah, I agree. We signed him off the back of a great Euros World Cup, and that reminds me of Golovin. Remember when he was playing for
Golovin, yeah, I
Russia?
remember.
Juve
Yeah, I
Twitter was
remember
going wow. He's playing. Oh, I'm
that.
saying he's playing in Monaco. He's not. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be another loan unless someone actually is gonna offer some money. But yeah, he also said that. And then to the next and the last part of what he said is about Alexandro. And I think it will change things. What he said. He said in the next window, Juve uh, are determined to bring in a new starting left back. The idea is to sell Sandro, but that's never an easy task, as he's earning 7 million euros until 23.
Wow.
But that we knew is crazy. But the main thing is the club wants a starting left back, and we went over this over and over and over again.
I
People,
can't think of many.
yeah, the chat keeps saying Grimaldo because like I don't know what it's becoming like a thing in the chat.
Mm.
It's easy, it's fashionable, it's easy to do. Not easy
Okay.
to do, it's but like names as name it Cambiasso, all those names. I'm like, no, no, no. That cannot be the option. It can be, right?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Um, Perhaps the only fullback I can think of who's on a high level and would be somewhat affordable is Guerrero from Dortmund. He's 28. He probably costs 20 or 25 million.
I was and it's not gonna happen. I like Angelino from Leipzig. I
Mm.
like Simicas from Liverpool who can play there. Like
Really? Okay.
those are names I like, but we are getting linked with Cambiasso, like those names,
Would you have signed? Would you have signed? What's his name? The left back from Atalanta. Can't believe I forgot his name. Who just signed for
Gosens,
Inter?
Gosens.
Gusens. Yeah,
No,
Gusens. Yeah. Would you have signed him?
no, because we play in a back four. I think he looks amazing if
Mm.
you play in a 3-5-2. Like, and if you can push,
Yeah.
I don't think that will be a great sign for us. I don't believe that. Uh, but people are saying Mazraoui from Ajax. Oh my god, no, like, absolutely
No.
no. I remember people wanting Serginho Dest. I didn't have the channel at the time. I was like, what? He ain't it. And some speakers are saying,
Mm.
no, Tsimikas ain't it. I think Tsimikas is a very good player. He's very underrated. But I'll take him over Villanova and those players. Cambiasso.
Mm.
They're nowhere near close to ready. Then I'll play Billy
For
Green
some
over
reason,
them.
even though we aren't linked to him now, I think we could sign Man United's left back, not Luke Shaw, the other guy, the Portuguese player, Teles.
Man,
For some reason, I think we might go for him.
I hope not. I don't think he's a good. I don't like him. I don't like Taylor. I never liked him. I don't.
Mm.
When I watch him play, I'm like, what are you good at? People say, oh, going forward, but like his contribution going
Mm.
forward is awful. I'm like, so that's not it.
Mm.
So what? What are you actually good at?
Yeah.
We need a good, and it's difficult. It's the most difficult position on the field, right and left back, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's why I was so angry when we sold
Yeah,
Cancelo. I thought we finally found one.
I agree. I agree. And that was a mistake. I think with the way the club is going now, they would never do that easily. And
Mm.
he didn't want to leave. Like he told
Yeah,
it. Like
I remember
he
in
felt.
the preseason as well. He was.
Yeah, but he gave an interview. Like he had an interview a few months back. He said like I felt broken, terrible. I didn't want to leave. Like I loved it over there. So I'm like, oh, that's a big
Yeah.
one. People saying Spinazzola. Yeah, but he knows his injury record. Like would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good, but at this point we will be talking about we need to replace him. He's never fit. You know.
Yeah, true.
So it's like,
I mean,
yeah,
I think we'd be probably a world class team had we kept his name Cancelo and Romero at center back. If we had kept both, I think we'd be in a much better position.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
We sold like I'm not the biggest fan of Romero and Demiral, but the way the club, like if it were now, the club would have not done that deal. They did it with Demiral because he wanted to play, which I get. Like he shouldn't be a bench
mm,
option. He's too good for that. I'm not his biggest fan. I'll be honest about that. But like
yeah,
an ideal world, Rudani would have been sold. You told Chiellini, you're the backup, and Demiral, you're coming in with the leg and Bonucci, and you're gonna switch with Bonucci. You know, that would be ideal, but it didn't happen, and now you're stuck with Chiellini, or stuck, and also Bonucci, who's 35 and is becoming injury prone now. It's clearly to see.
yeah.
So that's an issue. It's a big issue. You don't have Romero,
I
you
think
don't have Demiral, so you need to start over again. You got both of them on a cheap deal, basically. Now you need to spend money.
yeah. I think when I look at the whole squad, I think we have holes everywhere at center back, both fullback positions, in midfield, as wingers. I mean, we only have Chiesa as a winger.
Yeah, yeah.
We have too many holes. I mean, I think this summer is going to be huge.
It's gonna be huge. Um, I have no idea where we're gonna start because we have so, like you said, like we need to replace Dybala, probably Bernadeschi, like squad wise.
Mm,
Chiellini if he leaves, Sandro, Ramsey probably is gonna leave, Rabio hopefully, Arthur most likely, Keane the one that,
yeah,
like I don't think it's gonna happen all, like that's like 8 9 deals. That's impossible. Like if we
yeah,
get 3 good deals over the line, like quality, like a starting left back, a starting midfielder, and a starting winger, and maybe one or two, I don't want to say that, squad players, even if it's a Rovella
mm,
or a Fagioli, then I will be happy. But it's a lot to ask. A lot will depend on making midfield. And people keep bringing up Udogi's name, who I do like, but I, he's coming in. Allegri's not gonna play him. That's my thing. He's not gonna play him, and we need someone coming in and play. That's my
yeah,
issue. But I do like Udogi. He's he fits the club's, I don't want to say it, profile. He's young. He's Italian. He plays for like he's Italian.
mm,
He's young. He's a position we need. Like he fits everything the club wants. But
yeah,
for some reason we're not being linked heavily with him.
yeah, yeah,
It's like sporadic. Like some at the back end, like in a little corner in the newspaper, oh, Udogi. But like it's not the main story. Never. So I'm not sure we're really in for him. I doubt that.
yeah, true. But for me, perhaps the good news is that even when I look back at some of our major signings, some of them came out of nowhere. Even Ronaldo
I
and
agree.
Delict, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I agree.
So I'm pretty sure we'll sign some names that we aren't thinking of now.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what we said on the channel. Like now it's the same names, but at the end of June you will be like, oh, we're linked with him and him, and
Yeah,
you're not getting linked anymore with an Anthony or a Savage. I'm just saying, it always
yeah,
happens. It always like here's the thing. Then news broke the last 2 weeks basically. 3 weeks. It was like, oh,
yeah.
Chiesa, maybe, but it was like it never felt like yeah we're going for Chiesa. And then the last three
Mm,
games, like yeah, all in for Chiesa. You know,
okay.
I remember that.
But I'm honestly concerned about the rumors about Zaniolo
Yeah,
because it all seems like it's gonna happen, and I don't want that.
I was gonna end with that. That would have been my last question before we wrap it up. So I will ask you first.
Mm, mm.
What, okay, what do you think about Saniolo as a player now at this moment in time?
Okay, well, obviously he was very talented before his two ACL injuries.
Yeah,
Nowadays, when I look at him, I think he's too heavy, too slow. Um, he scored, I think, one goal all season. I mean, come on. Um, his his assist numbers are very poor as well.
yeah,
He gets booked way too often. He fouls way too often. The amount of dribbles completed per game is quite low. Like, I can't
yes.
see anything in him that makes me think he's going to be a good player, honestly.
Okay,
And he's very injury prone as well. So like, when you look at all these factors, I think that makes for a complete disaster.
Okay, well, I'll ask you a two-parter now. Okay, the news today was Roma won 60 mil. I will
Yeah.
I will ask you I will ask you, is he worth that? Yes or no? And if no, what do you think is the max we should be paying for him? Also, I think he has a deal until 23, right? Or
24, 24.
24, but he's not signing a deal at the
I think
moment.
so. Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
think he's worth 60? If not, what's the max we should be paying for him? Because we're going for him, man. I think that's obvious.
Okay. I mean, it's not going to happen, but I would prefer a loan with option to buy. But obviously, that's not going to happen. So I'd say 30 million tops. Even though if it's up to me, I'd say zero. But if you are going to sign him, then 30 million. So.
Yeah, we talked about it. I don't see him. Yeah, his stats like he needs to play in a winger position, and you expect if you play 4-3-3, I expect all three of them hitting double figures, double figures, and at least one category, goals or assists. Like Vlahovic, obviously
Yeah.
goals, but the other one should have double figures, assists or goals. One of the two at least, and that's an issue.
And the thing as well is that this season I've watched many Roma games, especially the first half of the season, and I noticed that he hasn't played well as a right winger in a 4-3-3.
Yeah,
He hasn't played well as a second striker in a 4-4-2, and not as a right wing back in a 3-5-2. He's basically been average in all positions.
100%. That's what scared me. Like he played in a wing position. What we are looking for, like he didn't look good. He really didn't look good.
And just two days ago in the game against Turkey, I mean, he was voted by everyone as the worst player on the pitch. So
Yeah, I didn't watch that game, but I read that he was not great. He asked more yellow cards than goals in Serie A ever since he started playing in Serie A, which is unbelievable. Actually, it's actually unbelievable.
Yep.
People keep bringing. Okay, I'll ask the last one before we wrap it up. Last one. So we pushed the name on the channel, and we just an idea. I don't know. You said no 20 years old, 28-year-old.
Right.
So I was like, okay, if
Di Maria, you're wondering, or somebody else?
Di Maria, I will ask you. Now, do you think? Okay, it's Zaniolo. So it's Zaniolo. That's the only news you will hear. Like Anthony, all those names, but I don't think you can take that seriously. So let's say it's between choosing Zaniolo or bringing in Di Maria on a 2-year deal with Sule behind him. What will you do?
The second option all day long.
Okay, I agree also because Di Maria can play.
And for me, for me as well. If I were to look at the plan for the next 2 years, so let's say I remember watching a live you did maybe 2 or 3 days ago where you mentioned possibly signing him on a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
I think the plan would be to have Di Maria as the starter and Sule as his backup the first season, and then the second season that kind of starts switching.
Yeah, that's what.
So like that'd be perfect.
Also because Di Maria can play in that 8 position if he needs, and I still like every time I watch Di Maria, he reminds me of Tevez in terms of drive, you know, and he's still quality. Like he is. I know he's 34, but he's quality. When he plays, he's quality. He's not playing at PSG because they have Mbappe, Messi, Neymar. You cannot chuck in Di Maria also because you're gonna concede 3-4 goals every game. You're gonna score 3-4 goals, but you're gonna concede because.
But it always comes on in the last 20 minutes though.
Yeah, he does. And
he's always playing.
Like the goal he scored in international break is pure quality. Once again, like he's still got it. It's weird that we're not getting linked with him. Not weird. Like if it was 2 years ago, I think he would have signed. I think we would have signed him.
Yeah.
I think he would have signed him.
Yeah, true.
Again, if you offer him, there's links about him coming back to, I think Rosario in Argentina. I think that's the team. But like, if you go to him and you say, you know what, we can still give you 2 years. You get your, how do you say, a countryman, Sule behind you.
Yeah.
2 years, 6-7 net a season. 2 years, that's it. I think he will take it. I think he will come.
Yeah.
I do believe he will come. And I'm just saying this because we are getting linked with with Zaniolo and
Yeah,
the money we need to pay for Zaniolo
and
is
I'm pretty sure as well. And I'm pretty sure as well that let's say if Sully doesn't turn out to be whom he think he might be, in 2 years' time they're going to be much better wingers on the market. So it doesn't make sense for me to sign Zaniolo now. Just sign Di Maria, and then 2 years from now we're going to have somebody else younger who we can sign if Sully doesn't
yeah.
become the main guy.
We just threw that name out there just because the price of Zaniolo and the other names were getting linked with,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just an idea. We're not getting linked.
But I do think though, when you asked me first, I preferred if Pirlo was still the manager. Considering the young talents that we have now, probably yes. Because I think if we still had Pirlo, I think Sule, Moretti, and probably Ake as well, they would all be playing more regularly. Next season, I think Rovella would be an important player as well.
Yeah, I agree. I still don't believe Rovella is going to stay next season. But, you know, that's what I think. But yeah, we covered everything, all the news today. Justin made a video, daily videos on the channel. I'll drop a bit later, just because, work. I was busy today, so go check that out. He spoke about it in more depth. He spoke also about different things we didn't discuss during this live. Tomorrow is a debate show, so that's always gonna be fun. And again, on Saturday, as usual, preview. Sunday, match day. Content as always. So yeah, I want to thank everybody in the chat first for joining. It's a later one today, and we started a bit later. So thanks everybody for watching. I want to thank Adam first time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was the first time, to be honest, because when I did that the first time, I was nervous. I was nervous as hell.
Same. Yeah. And also for me, I have no idea if the camera is working well, if the angle is good. I have no idea. It's the first time for me, so it's
yeah.
I'll do this about that.
It will get better. Like Malik at the start was also a bit nervous, but then like it's getting normal.
Yeah.
It gets normal. But yeah, I want to thank you again for joining, and I think we will see you soon. I think we will see you soon back.
Yeah.
Maybe not next week because I'm gone next week, but the following weeks, because a lot of games. I know United Fire. I know that was an April Fool's joke. I know it's. I saw it at the moment you put that in the chat. The Romeo thing. But yeah, everyone, thanks for joining, and have a good evening. We will